Peace, family. I wanted to talk about the business side of books. It is very easy to spend a lot of money on things that you think are going to bring a very high return on investment or improve the quality of your product. But IRL, it's just a fucking waste. I made a video that I don't think has surfaced on the internet or not about how you don't really need an editor. But I feel like most of the things that people really spend money on are kind of superfluous. An editor, someone to design your covers for you, someone to promote the book for you. It's like, I do understand what people do to make books pop, to really get a lot of people that make a living off of books spend a crazy amount of money to do so. It isn't like, it's like people have a fantasy, I feel, because I want to get this first out of the way and then get to the main point. I feel like people have a fantasy, like I did going in, that you're going to somehow become a millionaire spending zero money. And it's not. On the very basis of life and existence that I wish I could process before I left college, was that rent still costs money, food still costs money. It's like, even if there was a way to make books completely for free and promote them and make money off them completely for free, life, because we decided to live it this way, and we haven't voted it out of existence yet because we keep telling the people that make money off of it, sorry, we keep allowing the people that make money off of real estate to tell us that it's bad for us, that they're not rich off of real estate, so whatever. That's their problem, not mine. But I think that's a good metaphor. That's a great way to go into it. So you have a lot of people that make money off of those services. They make money off of reviews. They make money off of marketing and promoting your book. They make money off of editing your book. They make money off of making graphics for you, making videos for you, doing this for you, doing that for you. There's this software. There's that fucking software. And there's so many options and choices of how to publish your book that if your book doesn't sell or does sell, you don't really know whether to attribute it to yourself or to the platform that you utilize. And it's very difficult sometimes to ascertain the differences because they don't really give very good analytics as to where your sales are coming from, because I think the perception that they want is that all your sales are coming from them. So why do you need to question? Why do you need to bother? These are our customers, not your customers. They just happen to be buying your book, but they're using Amazon to buy it. And that's the kind of vibe I get from how Amazon fucking pays people. People that make money that I know legit spend the minimum of $15 a day. That might seem reasonable. I think that is like pretty fucking reasonable, to be honest with you. Honestly, $15 a day is it's something to set aside for sure. That's probably not something that I'm pretty sure people already have habits, vices, temptations that cost the equivalent, if not more, than $15 a day. Does it work? Yeah, it works. If you put money into people don't have a coin slot that makes them activate and do the things that they do, but Facebook definitely does. Instagram definitely. If you put $15 a day into Instagram or Facebook, you're definitely going to pump. You're definitely going to reach a new level, whatever the hell you're doing. But you have to do it sustainably over time, and then after a while, quite honestly, you're going to reach more success than most people because you're putting in more money than most people. But also, you're going to reach the same plateau. You're at a higher plateau. But it's kind of a bit more dangerous because if you spent all that time just paying for success, you never know whether you're actually successful. All you're really getting is your money back. You're just getting a revolving door of getting your money back And then the only way, it's a gamble basically. The only way to really go back into it is to keep investing and keep reinvesting and keep reinvesting. If you're using the internet method, in my opinion, within my perception, because I'm learning this shit, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it firsthand. And it's like, I'm telling you, like, honestly, I'm telling you $15 a day to be like, to give you something that you can use, to give me something that I could possibly use. But, the average person who's making like a lot of money off of Amazon KDP are spending hundreds of dollars a day. I took a class, and unfortunately, I take the Brian Cohen like 5-day class. I like Brian Cohen. Brian Cohen he reminds me of my friend Max, and I don't know, he's just an adorable little guy, and not a little guy like that. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, like whatsoever. Like we're probably the same height, like to be honest with you. I'm not that tall either. I'm not a 6-foot giant, by any means. But sorry, I just don't want to like offend him by saying like little guy like that. I don't mean that, but he's just, I don't know. Like it's hard not to like fucking Brian Cohen, man. But I'm taking like it wasn't Brian Cohen though. I don't remember the guy's name, unfortunately. But like you're on Facebook, people have like these marketing, advertising, Facebook group, like classes and shit like that. So I took one of the classes, and basically what he told us was that he spends over $100 a day, if not more than that, on Facebook advertisements. And he's showing us like the $10,000 return, the $10,000 return, the $20,000 return. But it's like, it's rare that people show you the $15,000 investment. It's rare that people show you the $1,000 that did absolutely nothing. It got spent to pay all these people, and all these people made money off of it, and all you got was a bunch of fucking JPEGs, maybe a couple WAV files or MP4 or two. And that's it, People are so desperate to get rich. They're so desperate for wealth that most people, and I stand by this statement because I made this statement, is that everyone is going to make $1 million in their lifetime. But it's a matter of how much of that money that you save. It's how much of that money did you reinvest? How much of that money did you put into something that can make more money, or put into people that you have equity in that give you, some dividends, give you a nice little return on what you gave them, and show some respect to those that helped them out. But a lot of people don't view things that way. When they view finance, they don't view finance as a neutral entity. They don't view corporations as neutral entities, which essentially they are. To think that a corporation within itself is evil is a little bit... It defeats the reality that most people's entire life is sustained by just a few corporations. Funny, and if you ask the people that run the corporations, they'll tell you that they're doing it out of the goodness and decency of their heart, and they just happen to be getting filthy fucking rich off of it. Whether that's true or not, no one's ever really tested, no one's ever really questioned, no one's really had the access to question a lot of these questionable business models and business practices, because not enough people learn enough about this system to question this system. The reason why a lot of authors fail, in my opinion, or end up bitter, or end up being one of the people that tell other people not to do it, is because they made mistakes, and that's just it. They made mistakes. And sometimes, we grow up and we make mistakes, and our parents make our mistakes the biggest thing in the world. We get like an attention or a light put on us. We get like a focus or a spotlight put on us. And because when we were younger, that was abused. And when we were most vulnerable, most unprotected, someone took advantage of us or did something to us or berated us or hit us or talked down to us. when we had no ability to fight back, no ability to form our own perspective of self, and we shattered. So, you make a mistake. That's that. That's the past. That's how your parents handled it. You're not your parents. You're your own person. You're not your past. You're a human being. The past is a concept of time that has gone by already, and it's not coming back. You can't chase ghosts. You can't chase, on the other side of that, are me, I can't even say the other side because it's me, it's a fucking dreamer. I was like literally like down the street, like, albeit I was drunk. But a drunk man tells no lies, know what I mean? I was like high key drunk. And I'm downtown Kent, Ohio, telling people like I'm gonna make $1 million next year off of books. I'm making $1 million next year off of books. I'm making $1 million next year. And like the concept back then was very different. Nothing exists the same as my concept. Fiverr was a very considerable comparison. OnlyFans was a very considerable comparison. But the concept that I had in mind had never been created. I never learned enough about code or computer programming to do it myself. What I did learn, however, is you can hire other motherfuckers to do shit you're not good at. The worst thing that I did was trying to spend so much time learning things that I could pay other people to do. Trying to get great at things that other people are amazing at. Trying to have a barely functional comprehension in something that someone else has been doing since they've been 5 or 7 or 10, It's like a lot of people are in the field that they're in, not because of college, but because it's something that they've been doing their entire life. It's something that they had a passion for and a love for forever, or they've had an interest in it forever. A kid grows up, he's looking at the construction guys. He's looking at the firefighters. He's looking at the authors. He's looking at the creditors and people are choosing what they want to be. And essentially all that's really happening in the world, there is no real, bear with me when I say this, because just like I said, when you put more money into something, you're going to reach a higher level, absolutely, because you're putting more money in, but you're also going to just reach a higher plateau. So what's actually happening is that there is no wealth. There is no riches, It doesn't exist, because we're just people. It doesn't exist, So just process that for a second and divulge that and digest it, because I'm going to explain my point in a second now. There is no wealth. There is no riches. It does not exist. It really doesn't. It's a bunch of made-up bullshit that people created to just continue stratifying and maintaining a sense of caste system. What we do have, however, is a commodity-based system. And based off the commodity that you sell, that is the price of which you receive. So if what you sell is only 20 cents, you have to sell such a high volume to meet the same margin as someone who sells something for $20,000 or $200. They don't have the same amount of volume. So am I telling you to price all your books at $50 or $200 because you're so knowledgeable? No, I'm telling you to analyze the market. And when certain people are telling you how successful they are and how great they are, it is important to ask how much they charge, because there's multiple forms of success. There's 2 forms of success that I want to talk about right now, because these are the 2 most prevalent, most competing forms of success. The first form of success is the success of mastery. You've gotten so good at something, so talented at something, that it is irrefutable to anyone that witnesses your work how great you are at what you do. The other form of success that we have in this modern day and age, and there seems to be more of this and more of hiring people who have received the form of mastery, and that is the success of wealth, the success of finance. And that is either having such a great understanding and acumen of finance, or having such a great supply. And this is honestly what most people are after, without any sense of reality for what it is that they're asking for. Is that, and I tell you that because I used to pray I used to pray all the time to be rich. I prayed all the time to be, but it's like the more I prayed and I got my prayers answered, I started to understand how much went into $1 million. How much goes into $1 billion? How big is $1 trillion? $1 quadrillion? You know, it's huge. It's kind of like it's an insurmountable amount. And it's not something that you're going to reach in a year, so you're going to need a 10-year plan to do. It may not be something, if you have a 10-year plan, you have to prepare for failures, you have to prepare for shortages, you have to prepare for things to go awry. So what you honestly have is about a 15 to 20-year plan. So that overnight success that you wanted will take a minimum of 10 years, but about 15 to 20 years to develop into full fruition. So a lot of these people that you see becoming very famous musicians were musicians when they were 5. They were musicians when they were 10. They were musicians and singing and dancing at a very young age. So that when they became 18, like Chris Brown, he becomes, I think he was like 16 or 17 or so, he already had about 10 years 11 years of experience. People think of work experience, and they think of only limited to a solid job base. People want to know that you're not just wasting your fucking time doing nothing. That's it. They don't even really care. People make money collecting fucking postages and shit like that. That fills them with life. You know? It really does. Because it's, I don't know, it's an art to it. It's like instead of going to a museum and seeing these giant pieces of art that are over, oh, that's a good example. I got a good motherfucking example right now. Holy shit. You go to the museum, you have like these huge, like overpriced paintings that you're told are art that you might look, like some of them like irrefutably are beautiful, you know? And then others are just kind of like, Was it artsy, or did they just come from rich parents? You know, was it artsy, or did no one just yes men, and no one was like, hey, no, this is kind of fucking stupid. I'm not saying it's bad. Like, cool, like you did it, and it's great, but like. You know, like you see some of the price tags on art pieces. So you see a lot of the ways that people like save millions of dollars in their taxes from like art pieces. Like commodity. It's a commodity, you know, but the postage stamp fills you with the same amount of joy. You can own the postage. You can have the postage in your house all the time. You can look at it whenever you want to. You don't have to just look at it once, have it be an experience. And it's like, it kind of, for me, it's kind of the stupidity of the entire system. If you really just point at it and poke at it and prod at it a little bit to see that it doesn't make sense, people will pay more money for a short-term experience than they will pay or expect to be paid for a long term of service. And it's kind of retarded. And it shows you just how short-minded people really are, like, ultimately. Because it's like, you'll pay $20,000 to go see Grant Cardone. You'll pay $50,000 to go see fucking Tony Robbins. You know, seriously. That's a lot of cheddar, and I'm talking about per person. You know, you'll take out a loan to go see them. You'll take out a credit card to go see them. You won't spend $1.99 to read your cousin's fucking book or your friend's book or some dude like the people are like just once you see what people like, you don't feel as bad when they don't pick you. It's kind of like those chicks in like high school that were really like bitchy to everybody and just really stuck up because they were kind of cute or they developed early, so everyone wanted to fuck them, and they thought that gave them superpowers, and it's not. It's just guys are coming back and telling them like, "Hey, she smashed like for use." You know, like, hey, like she let me go, so you guys definitely have better shit. Women don't want to know what that really think. I swear to God, they don't. Women's empowerment, man. Pussy is power, and it's like, no, you gave the pussy to the one motherfucker, and he told this motherfucker, and that motherfucker told another motherfucker. And all the dudes you fucking know each other. That's why you saying dudes ain't shit, because every dude you know know each other. They told each other, and they talk about you. I'm not talking to any specific person. I just know there's multiple people in that motherfucking situation. Cause I know men, you know. I know dudes, you know. And I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm like so far off the fucking point right now. I'm just so fucking like so fucking off the point. I'm so fucking off the point. The postage costs like what, 25 fucking cents, 50 cents. I don't know. That's really what you have to like get back to the mark on. Put on your serious face, you know, and do the math and do the. Okay, basically, I'll personalize it because like I did get completely off fucking tangent. I lost my fucking point. I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. So I'm just gonna start a new fucking point. I'm gonna start about the shit I fucking talking about. Shit I'm fucking going through, you know, personal shit. So I recently did a book sale. Do not quote my math on any of this because I have a calculator. I have multiple calculators. I have a Kindle and a calculator. I want an exact number. Because it's 248. So I sold 248 books. Or gave away 248 books. There are a lot of people that will not buy books from you because they don't want to give Amazon your money. They'll take a free book. I'm not joking. No, I'm not joking. I'm dead ass serious. There are people that will not buy your book. So I'm trying to type the numbers in here, but like, I didn't want to leave that point at that. Like I meant that some type of other fucking way than how it fucking came across. So I meant that shit. There are people that will not buy your book from Amazon because they don't want to give Amazon the money. They'll tell you this. They'll be like, oh, man, it's such a smaller bit, but they'll take it for free. Alright, so 248 books. Numbers on the board. I'm going to pretend this by telling you this is why I only fuck with ebooks on Amazon. I do not fuck with print books with Amazon anymore. I I will, like, I do to some extent, but I'll explain in fucking pieces, and then we're done. And then I'm fucking doing what I do, and you do what you do, and then we'll see each other tomorrow. We'll see each other in a couple of days or some shit like that. 248 books on the board. Multiple different books. I guess I'm going to get to it now. I sell my books physically for $20 a piece, you know? I feel like that's a pretty fair middle ground. And, I don't know. If people want a lower price, they ask for it. If someone only has $10 on them, I'm not going to fucking say... Like, and people really seem to appreciate it, like, high-key, for real. I tell them some shit like, yo, I don't really give a fuck, you know. Maybe I'll get into some like real dark secret numbers. It's like we're really late in the video, so I really doubt like too many people are watching. So I want to give people that like hear this long some like real fucking game. I made $0 fucking off of this shit. 248 books. I made no fucking money off of that. My entire royalty check that'll be coming from November so far comes from a beautiful Switch that I just released and people buying copies of that. 248 books, I didn't see a fucking dime. Maybe I saw a few cents because you have the knip, you have the pages read bullshit that they do to convince you to give your book away for free. I don't care. I'm over it. I really don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I care a little bit. If I had sold those through ebooks, I would have made as the numbers. I just did the numbers for that. I put it away for $199. Even if I pocketed the whole thing for an ebook or some shit like that, I would get $493.52. And honestly, a lot of authors would be very happy if they ever saw that kind of royalty check. That just shows you how bad the environment is. I even looked at, because this the point I'm making is multi-layered, and I really want it to sink home with you, is that I looked at last month's KDP fund. It was about $49 million. This month's KDP fund is $39.9 million. That is a drastic decrease for me. I'm not a multimillionaire, so I don't have the discrepancy, or a billionaire or some shit. I don't have the discrepancy to go, oh, it's just several $1 million less. And that's like a smooth 10 million gone, for real. Like, damn. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of books. That's a lot of money, a lot of revenue that has just dropped down. There aren't less people reading books or anything like that, but it's not. There's a lot of people that drop off and stop utilizing the service because Amazon is making a lot of money, but we are not making shit. So this is my argument. This is the video why I started this vlog, and the process of how I'm moving forward and doing things differently. If I would have sold these books myself, I would have made $4,960. So it is not that being an author is not profitable. It's not that many authors such as myself aren't already making thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue. It's that literally $40 million goes to Amazon for selling these books, and I get maybe I have time to go into expenses and things like that. They front a lot of expenses. They have a mighty, awfully huge platform globally, and now they're trying to go into space and shit like that. But at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, you're fucking over so many people to reach that point, which goes back to you have people that are finding success and mastery, and that's the hard work culture, that's the meritocracy, that's if you just work for 70 years and get great at something and get an education and get a pension and then retire when your back is broken and you can barely walk, then great. Good for you. But if you can get rich at 19, that's even better. Like for real. And it's not like I'm not hating on anybody, Get your money, do your thing. I'm not I don't hate billionaires, I don't hate millionaires. I think we should tax the rich because it is literally being proven that they're not paying their they brag about not paying their taxes. If all the people that didn't pay their taxes got arrested tomorrow, the world economy would fall apart. It's like you're stuck backed in a corner. That this is really the taboo, that if you stopped utilizing Amazon, what would you use? If you moved to a new service, how long would it take you to learn a new service, So you're battling an issue that's going to lead you back to the same point that we began this kind of at, is that many people aren't put in the position in which they have the knowledge or have the information to realize that anything is going wrong, to realize that they're doing anything wrong, to realize that they need a different perspective in how they do things. it's a little difficult to even reach that point on a meta level or a personal level, or even, I would say not even or even, but I would say especially when dealing with other people. Having somebody else tell you the brutal, honest truth about yourself, that's something that you want to struggle with in alcoholism until you one day reach that and fucking rock bottom one day. That's when you're going to deal with your demons. Until then, your demons are going to run rampant upon your life, ruining all your relationships, ruining all your opportunities, making you feel like shit every day because you refuse to exercise your demons until your demons have completely given your soul over. Stupid ass fucking method. Don't fucking do that. Don't waste your life thinking about, well, just do it, man. It's like Nike didn't lie to you. They didn't tell you something that was disrespectful or rude. Just do it. No one cares. If you become a world famous author, you're in the exact same place as if you didn't do shit. The only difference is that if you didn't do shit, you're going to spend the same amount of time, the same amount of effort, the same amount of fucking just raw, and I want to say passion, but I'm not even sure if you would have a passion for it. I'm not even just talking about becoming an author, doing anything. Even if your big goal and ambition is becoming a fucking engineer, becoming a doctor, do that shit too, motherfucker. Like, fuck, we don't not need doctors. We don't not need policemen. And if your fucking life ambition become a cop or a fucking firefighter, do that shit too. Do that shit more than any of the other shit, because that might help you. That's gonna help you a lot in doing all the other shit you want to do in life. If you have a promising, if it's not writing and it's not being an author, then that's fine, because there's no environment set up for authors to really, unless you do it yourself. There's no environment. You can make a pretty hearty living selling 50 books a month off of that model and paradigm. And hey, no one's going to fault you for it, And I think that's a pretty good goal to give you too. Just 50 sales a month. It's good. Sell it yourself. It's $1,000 a month. We think that we need so much. We think that we need to compete with other people. We think that we need to put other people down for us to feel up. You want to be the person that's selling more copies of their book because they sold an amazing book, and people just have to tell their friends and family about it. They need somebody. It's like Squid. They need someone to talk to this about. They need someone to have conversations with this about. And instead of fully engaging inside of that conversation, you shut your mouth. And instead of realizing that everyone around you is waiting to have the same conversation, dying for it, ambitious for it, and yearning for it, everyone sits there saying, no one wants to hear me talk. No one cares what I have to say. No one's listening. And we convince ourselves of that. And that is what we're fighting. Because the other side of people don't have that. They don't have... Everyone loves what I have to say. Everyone loves me and 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 me. I wrote a book. I wrote one book. It's the most amazing book I've heard. Everyone needs to hear about it. Everybody, I'm in this interview, that interview, this interview, that interview. I'm tired of this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to do something else. But I'm going to keep the interviews. How I no longer want to be an author. That kind of shit, I don't know who I was impersonating. I don't know. The image in my head was just kind of this, gender fluid, dude. He's, super fucking, charismatic, but, doesn't fucking stick to anything. That's my mind, because it's you... Because you can really get caught up in seeing that someone's doing really well at the moment, And you lose sight of the years, you lose sight of the decades, you lose sight of whether they're going to be doing this a month from now, 2 months from now. It's like consistency is key. So I feel like when people look for business models, when they look for success, when they look for role models, they pay too much attention to the people that. And they told me this when I was doing the advertising. I was reading a book, actually. I was reading a book by Readsy. If you ever look up the website Readsy. It's like, I think it's like READSY. And they have like a lot of resources for like authors and writers, like really top notch stuff. I was reading one of their books by a guy whose name is right in my Kindle in front of my face, and I am just struggling to get my Kindle open so I can say his name, because I want him to get credit for what he did, because he made a great book and it was just fantastic, and people don't make good books all the time. So when people make good books, I want to stop myself to point it out. And I'm currently reading Kindle Income Book Writing Guide for Profit for this thing. Sorry, this is taking longer than I thought I would. Sorry. I feel like I'm walking through a movie theater and I'm trying not to step on anyone's fucking feet. How to Market a Book by Ricardo Fayet. Overperform in a crowded market. Great book. Really great book. Really transformed my perspective on marketing. And he was talking about how you don't want peaks. What I did a couple weeks ago was a peak. I'm trying to make it a plateau now, or plateau it out over like a month time period or something. But he said, like, you don't want peaks. You want plateaus. You want flat, consistent details. And that's what lets Amazon know that you're worthy of selling. And that can be, in my perspective, I don't do the actual research, but what I'm about to say right now is conjecture. But it can be 5, because this is great. This is a great number to reach whatever. And it's going to help you get to the 50 sales a month. If you do 5 sales a day, hey, that's 150 fucking sales. That's way over the fucking limit of what I said before. If you can sell 5 books a day for $20 a day, I don't think you have to ever worry about money again in your life. I think you're fine at that point. Like, that's $100 a day. It's about $3,000 a month. You're good. You probably need more. You probably want more because you're a capitalist and you're a greedy son of a bitch, and you have a bunch of useless plastic things that pollute the world that you desire for no reason. But hey, that's on you, not me. I'm going to keep that money, and you're going to spend it, and I'm going to have the millions, billions, quadrillions of dollars, because I'm going to keep it all, This was fun. This was a great time for me. I don't know if you guys had fun, because I don't know if anyone watches this, but it's great for me because it's cool to get my thoughts out there. I don't really like hearing myself speak, but I'm trying to get out of my shell more. And this is a fun way to do that without, like, physically being in front of people, because I don't like doing that. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out. This was a long ass fucking video, and I'm tired now. Bye.